All right, so we are live. Yes, we are. Let's get the big screen up. Hello, 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 and happy. What is today? Today is Tuesday. Oh my God, I was gonna say Wednesday. I don't know why I feel like it should be Wednesday, but anyway, it is Tuesday. And just a quick intro. I'm gonna do some housekeeping first. Make sure I am where I need to be because we are streaming on 3 platforms. I love StreamYard because we get to do that. We get to be in more places at one time. I've always said I like to clone myself so I can be in more places at one time. So StreamYard is helping me with that. Yay, yay. So let me just tap into our Twitter page and see that everyone who's ever there is there. Oh, we have a cat with us today. Hello, kitty.
That's Max. Sorry.
Hello, Max. Max likes to make an appearance. So for those who are watching on Twitter, we are here live. So say hi, hit that little heart button, let me know that you are here. Still growing my audience there. I have no clue how to work Twitter, but one day I'll learn. Someone said you need to be on Twitter. So I was like, okay, I'll be on Twitter.
I'm not on Twitter.
You're on Twitter too, or you're not?
No.
Okay, well, maybe you'll eventually get there.
No.
No, okay, that's
It's
fine
still
too.
a platform, so you can stick to a couple of them.
Yeah, it is. I mean, to me, it's like all these different platforms. And now we're on YouTube, so we are there live. So for those who are on YouTube watching, if you're watching with us live or you're watching on the replay or however they call it in the YouTube land, hit that thumbs up button so I know you like what you're watching. And also subscribe. So this way here, when I do go live, which is often, you'll know when I do. And that little bell that you want to hit, so obviously you'll know when I go live. So hello to all of you and comment when you want. And we're going to land on my Facebook page, which is where most of the activity takes place, where most people who are available at the time when I do go live join me. So we'll see who shows up. And when they do, we'll try to interact with them. So here we go. Now that we have the housekeeping all the way onto the side, let me introduce myself, and then I'm going to introduce my amazing, lovely guest who I have with me today. I'm Reverend Joanne Angel Barry Cologne, your certified holistic personal trainer, intuitive healer, cosmic energy reader, medical astrologer, master of numerology, the creator of the Chakra Balance Numerology Cosmic Energy Forecast deck, and also the owner of Holistic Fitness, which obviously I'm not there today as of yet. We'll get there later. And today I will be demonstrating for the very, very first time ever, going live, demonstrating my self-growth discovery session. And once I do my introduction, I will explain to you what a self-growth discovery session actually is, why I created it, and what I'm using it for in replacement of, which makes me, this is my superpower, and it also makes me authentic from any other personal trainer out there. In addition to the title that I gave myself as a holistic personal trainer, first a personal trainer. So let me introduce my amazing guest who's going to be very transparent here today and doing this with me for the very first time. And as I said, this is the first time I'm even doing this. And it was actually her idea, believe it or not. So let me introduce Irene Rodriguez. She is our spiritual educator and also way speed creator. Now, if you've ever wanted to enhance your confidence or really tap into yourself on a deeper level, I highly, highly recommend a waist speed because I have about, I think 8 of them. And at one time or another, I would wear 3 at a time, and they are definitely life changers. They do definitely do the purpose of what they are for. And what Irene does with her waist beads is she creates them personally for what it is you're looking to accomplish. But I'm going to let her share a little bit about that because obviously, why not? Why not let the person who created them share about what they are and the purpose behind? So Irene, to start off with, thank you so much for being here with me today. I'm super excited to do this with you. So talk a little bit, tell us a little bit about what you do, why you do it, and when you started doing it.
Hi, thank you for having me. Yeah, this is my idea to show what it is that you do, and especially because I asked you about like fitness and working out, so I was just like, let's do it live. So what do? I do so much, and who I am. I'm Irene Rodriguez. I'm the owner of 100 Essential Women. It's my business where I create intentional waist beads for all people. That's why the X is in women, because it's inclusive of all people. And I'm a essential oil expert. I create waist beads for women who want to manifest different intentions, or they want to reconnect with their bodies. Waist beads are more, as pretty as they are, and they look really nice around the belly. It's for women of all shapes and sizes, and they can match the waist bead and crystals on their waist bead to their intentions and goals for their life. And it's become a really powerful tool for them of connecting with themselves and reappreciating their bodies and all that they've gone through, and a lot of women have started their healing journeys with waist beads because our bodies go through so much trauma, whether it's abuse or pregnancy or life, so that's what waist beads support. I'm an educator by profession. I've been a teacher forever and I just transitioned from teaching English in middle school to teaching about spirituality and waist beads. And as a priestess of Oya, I do some readings. I do like some spirituality classes and supporting people in that journey as well. And usually navigating the changes that happen in their lives, because we get blindsided by change, but change is so necessary. And it's kind of my area of expertise, change. So.
And isn't she right about that?
Mm-hmm.
So what I want to tap on, as she said about the waist beads, in regards to, yes, they are very pretty. And they're so pretty that sometimes we want to wear them outside of our clothing, which we can. I mean, there's no rules, so to speak. But they are they are definitely a personal, private thing to say. Although when I have mine, I'm on lives and I'm showing them off and everything else. But anyway, one of the things that I mean to say is that they are very useful in reference to tracking your physical results in regards to
Yes.
how they sit on your body. And you can tell, depending on where you sit them on your body, if you sit them high on, let's say, in your solar plex area, and you start trimming down, the waist bead's going to drop because
they start to fall. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for weight management, for like healthy weight management, so you're not like stepping on the scale. You just want to kind of track inches. You could tell you're losing weight or gaining weight depending on how your clothes fit you. It's the same thing with your waist bead. So you would tie it higher on the waist, like above the belly button, around the solar plexus, right beneath the ribs. And as you're managing your weight, you will see them drop. And some people, they've fallen off, and that's the end of that chapter, and they get another set to start the new journey, the new chapter of their journey.
Unless you're like me, who cry and send the beads back to Irene and say, "Could you please fix it? Because I really love it. I want to put it back on." And then, of course,
I tell you to let it go.
Exactly. Then she very kindly, compassionately reminds me that the waist bead did what it needed to do, and it's time to give it love and either bury it or place it on my altar or whatever it is that I want to just put it aside for and let it go. And suddenly,
I actually have one on my wrist.
Ah, yes, exactly. Yes.
I turned this one into a bracelet because it's amber and gold, like 24 karat gold.
Yes, you can see it
on my wrist because I knew it no longer served my abdominal area, but I couldn't let it go, and so it's for here, and it's like really empowering here,
Yes.
So.
Exactly. And when we speak about Irene's waist beads, as she's the creator, it's a perfect gateway into our topic for today in regards to the self-growth discovery session. Now, you're probably all wondering, well, what the hell is a self-growth discovery session? I mean, many practitioners, specifically coach, use that term self-growth. It's not usually a term used in the fitness industry, so we say, in reference to self-growth. But as I've mentioned, what makes me stand out from many of the other personal trainers out there in the world is that in the last, I'd say 5 or 10 years, maybe, I keep forgetting how long I've actually like transitioned into this new way of doing what I'm doing. It's actually about 10 years now, which is so weird to me. But the whole purpose of it is, as a holistic personal trainer, my focus when working with clients is to redirect their focus from, as Irene said, about rather than getting on the scale to determine your results, because reality of it all is the scale really doesn't determine anything when we really think about it, especially if you are someone who is very into lifting weights. In fact, it could be very discouraging when you step on a scale if you're someone who lifts weights, because muscle is denser than fat is. So it's going to seem heavier on the scale, but yet you're looking lighter and tighter and even smaller for that matter. So we think about this whole concept of holistic. It's combining the mind, body, emotions, and your spirit into the process. And when I work with clients going forward here, one day I was sitting with a client, and first time sitting with her, and I was guided to pull cards rather than I had the questionnaire, the general questionnaire that most trainers work with their clients on, and I went to hand it to her. And as I went to hand it to her, it literally fell on the floor. Like she went to grab it, like both of our hands were almost on it, but it literally fell on the floor. And I was like, And I was like, all right, well, I'm being guided to pull my cards out. So I pulled cards with her, and 9 cards were the number that popped out. So with those 9 cards, I was able to get insight from her regarding information that was not on that questionnaire, which allowed me to go a little deeper into the conversation with her. Whereas in reality, it's very rare when on a questionnaire, you're not going to ask, or most people are not going to ask their clients, specifically women, what age they were when they got their cycle. I mean, that's usually a question that's asked when you're at the GYN or your primary doctor. What age were you when you got your cycle? What personal trainer asks that question? To my knowledge, probably none. And I've been in the fitness industry for 30 plus years, and I've never, in all my years prior to 10 years ago, have ever asked a client, what age did you get your cycle? And why is that important? Well, it plays a huge role in regards to the individual's goals and how that individual feels about their body. I truly believe that that is that part of our time of life is literally the start to how we feel about ourselves, if not even before, based on different things that child might have experienced prior to their cycle even getting here. And then some of the questions that showed up in this individual's reading was a relationship that she had with her parents. And that's another question you're not going to see on a personal training application in regards to, like, well, what's your relationship with your mom? What's your relationship with your dad? Most people sit back and say, well, how is this relevant to my health, fitness, and wellness goals? And 5 to 10 years ago, I would have said it's probably not. But up until 10 years ago, I'm like, it's very relevant, because again, the relationships that we have with both our parents or lack of relationship could also determine your motivation or lack of motivation in regards to reaching your health, fitness, and wellness goals. And the word I want to put out here for all of us is the word the word that comes to mind is worthy. Worthy. Now you think back and say, well, how does worthy fit into this whole conversation? And it does, because if we are lacking worth, where we feel like we do not deserve to be healthy, we do not deserve to take the time to do an exercise regimen, we do not deserve to eat well, all of that sabotages the health, fitness, and wellness goals. So again, these are questions that would not appear on your general health, fitness, and wellness form when sitting with a client. And that client is not going to just shovel out all this information without being asked it. And that's where my cards come into play, because certain things would show up, as it did with that one client that I work with, where this all came about, where the questions that came up was like, wow, I would never have thought to ask these questions in a general questionnaire. So my cards gave me that ability to do just that. So I tried it out with her. And then after her, several new clients who would come in, I'd say to them, I would like to experiment with my cards and not use the questionnaire. Are you open to that? They were. So long story short, since then, that's what I do with my clients, is I actually will sit with them, and I very rarely ask clients any questions about their history. The most I will ask, which I asked Irene yesterday, I sent her a text with a list of questions, general questions, well, not so general, in reference to her goals for her health, fitness, and wellness goals, her relationship with her mom and dad, when she did get her cycle, and what her where does her body hold stress, because that too is going to be an indicator to the whole workout concept, and also associated with our chakra system, where our body may be blocked or sluggish. So in Irene's situation, I'm going to just dive into that for the second, where her body holds stress is in her shoulders and her stomach. Okay. So when we think about shoulders and stomach, we're going to dive right into stomach first. Stomach is solar plex energy. Stomach is solar plex energy. So it's about how she digests, how she feels in regards to self-esteem, security, trusting, having faith, feeling worthy. That word is back here again. And also the abundance, how she is able to either be open to abundance or be closed off to abundance. So that's the stomach. And when her stomach is stressed, that could be an indication that there might be a little sluggishness going on in the solar plex. Now, I truly believe that our body is a very smart machine. And when there's something going on with our body where we have discomfort, that physical pain showing up, that is the body's way of letting us know that something emotionally is out of balance. And when we can go there first and evaluate how we are feeling that particular day that the physical symptom is showing up, we can then do an evaluation on what's going on around us in our mind at that present time. Or has something happened, let's say maybe the day before, 2 days before, that we're still focused on, that might be creating that stress in the solar plex. Now, in reference to our shoulders, believe it or not, shoulders is connected to the throat chakra. So again, if we are tense in the shoulder area, our throat chakra may need our attention. And not just the throat chakra, but also the ears, because they're connected. So if we have, let's say, any type of tension in the jaw or our teeth are bothering us, or throat chakra, which either means that when Irene is experiencing the shoulder issues, it either means she needs to take a day where she can quiet herself down so she can start paying attention to what she needs to hear, or there's something she needs to speak about that she's choosing not to talk about. And many of us have this habit that we'd rather, the word I'm hearing is avoid. We'd rather avoid having a conversation with somebody because we don't want to have a conflict, or we feel that it's the better way of healing when we avoid. And the reality of it all is when we avoid it, it actually causes us disservice to the chakra. Does that make sense to you, Irene?
Yeah, perfect sense.
Excellent, excellent. So I just want to say hello to some who are popping in, and then we're going to dive into this. So we have Robin here, and we have Elizabeth. So thank you for popping in and saying hi to us. So how this is going to work today is I'm going to pull 9 cards from my 45 card deck. So 9 of the cards are going to come out of this in regards to what's in store for Irene in regards to her health, fitness, and wellness goals. And also keeping in mind, we also spoke about her long-term goals. So for example, her 6-month goal, her 1-year goal, and her 5-year goal. And how these 9 cards are gonna be the gateway to the chakras that she may need to work on to clear the energy so she could be aligned to these specific fitness goals. Now, for those of you who are watching for the first time and witnessing my cards for the first time ever, each card has 3 elements. The element of color, which is associated with the chakras. element of a number, which is associated with numerology and astrology. The numerology will provide a specific meaning, and astrology will give us insight to the astrology that's going on right now. And then we have an affirmation. The affirmation is just that. It helps to raise our vibration. And here's my favorite part. It also adds to our story, our journey. Now, there's going to be 9 cards that's going to pop up here. That's a lot of information for Irene to take in all at one time. And she may
I'm going to be taking notes on my phone. So if you see me looking down, I'm typing.
That's perfect.
I forgot a pen and a paper.
That's perfect, which is what I expected. To take in all this excuse me, to take in all this information at one time could be a little overwhelming for one. So the most important thing, and I tell all clients when I give them their self-discovery, is A, be open to receiving the information that is going to show up today. And B, most importantly, have fun. Have fun with this. Because this is not a life sentence, and it's just giving us a gateway to what we need to focus on, specifically the colors, which is the main goal here. Because when we are looking to reach our health, fitness, and wellness goals, one of the things that I've noticed in the 30 plus years that I've been in the industry is that we get gung-ho in the very beginning. We're very motivated. We may be very consistent for maybe 3-4 weeks. We're going. Then all of a sudden, we stop seeing the progress. So we get discouraged. And because we get discouraged, we may not be as consistent. And then eventually we stop. And one of the reasons why we get discouraged is because we're so focused on just the physical results of it. Mm-hmm. We're not focused on the intention to why we're doing it to begin with. And intentions are extremely important to when we set up our fitness goals. And it's not just the intention for, let's say, the 30-day or 60-day or whatever. It's the intention for each day. So when we do a workout for today, it's setting up the intention. What am I looking to get from this workout? What is my intention for this workout? And yes, theoretically, the average intentions could be, oh, I want to be strong. I want to fit in my bathing suit. I want to fit in the pairs of jeans, whatever it is, which is going to sound very superficial. But when your intentions get to the point where I want to be healthy, I want to be able to move really easily in my body. I want to be able to get up out of a chair and not feel stiff. I want to be able to pick up my packages, my laundry, and my back doesn't bother me. I want to be able to run after my children. And Irene has 2. She has 2 little ones. 2 little ones. What's your daughter's age?
She's 5 and my son is 8.
Yeah, so she has little ones. So Irene definitely needs to be physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually active with her children and not be tired. So her goals should be aligned to wanting to be healthy enough to address and stay connected with her children. Mm-hmm. And whatever our goals are. So it's really important to pay attention to the intention. Why we do this, the big why. And really posting that big why on the refrigerator. And I say the refrigerator because most of us go to the refrigerator every day. I mean, it's like going to the bathroom. You could post that why in the bathroom for that matter. Post the whys in every place you are. So it can remind you to why it's important for you to move your body, nourish your body, rest your body, clear your mind. Why all of this is important so we can be a healthy version of ourselves. As opposed to just going, and not ever taking the time to rest. So here we go. So Irene, what I would like you to do is I would like you just to stay focused on your specific goals that you're looking to accomplish, health, fitness, and wellness, your 6-month goal, your 1-year goal, your 5-year goal. And for the sake of today, since you're not here to actually shuffle the cards yourself, and this is why it's so magnificent, is that I can do this remotely. So no one needs to be right there with me. All I would like you to do is just recite your full name that's on your birth certificate out loud for me 3 times.
Irene Rodriguez. Irene Rodriguez. Irene Rodriguez.
Awesome. So now I'm going to start intuitively pulling cards. There's going to be 9 cards we're going to work with.
Okay.
And once the 9 cards come up, I'm going to explain all 9 cards, and then I'm going to dive into the reading. And I'm hoping my cards don't go flying across the room. The other day, I was doing a card reading, and literally my cards flew across the room. I literally had to get up to go get them. I was like, okay, audience, hang in there. I got to take a walk to go get my cards.
They had something to say.
They sure did. They sure did. All right. Loving it. So to start off with, so our audience knows that Irene is a Cancer. For that matter, she's a lot of Cancer. She's a lot of Cancer. She's got her true node in Cancer, and that's really important, the true node. And she also has Mars and Venus in Cancer. So right off the bat, she has 4. Where's my hands? 4 signs, 4 planets in Cancer. For those of you who are not aware of astrology, Cancer is the 4th house, associated with 4th house, which is about home, her home. Now, when we think about her home, we can think of it in 2 ways. We can think of her home, her shelter, where she actually lives in, and it's really important for her to be home. Home is extremely important to her. You know, her family is important to her. Her family is her life. And which brings me to, and I was going to save this for later, because as soon as I started sending you the questions yesterday regarding today's reading, all of a sudden, because I tapped into your energy, all of a sudden all these things started coming up. And right now, all the cards are right associated with everything that was coming up yesterday. So in regards to the family being extremely important to you, and just, you might want to write this question down, then we're going to come back to it later. When family events and work becomes busy, what's the first thing you put on hold? Write the question. We're going to come back to it because I want to explain the cards, and then we're going to open with that question because I think that's really important. So because Irene has 4 planets in Cancer, she's primarily Cancer, and they're all in the 11th house energy, which is about community as well. So as much as she loves being home, she's very connected with community. Community is very important to her, which makes sense to why she is a waist bead creator and also a spiritual educator, you know, because she connects with people. So that makes a lot of sense. She's also a Virgo rising. And what Virgo is all about the 6th house energy. It's about organization, structure, scheduling, and here's the biggie: health, fitness, and wellness. Aha! But just because she's a Virgo rising doesn't always mean that because that's the energy we hold on to that we have all that in order. Sometimes because of that energy, we don't have it in order. You know, that we get a little dismantled by it, but that's okay. So she has her sun in Cancer, as mentioned. She's got her rising sign in Virgo, and then she's got her moon sign is Leo. So what that actually means is that she likes to have fun. But here's something that's really important. Leo is all about change. Leo's, even though she's got that Virgo energy where she has to have everything structured and scheduled, Leos do not like to do the same thing more than once. So for her exercise routine, I have to keep that in mind, that if I'm going to create an exercise routine for her, I have to make sure that exercise routine is fun. Otherwise, after give and take 7 days of doing that routine, She's going to be burnt out, not because her body has reached a plateau, but because emotionally she's bored as hell. And that would be the thing that would stop her from doing her routine because it's no longer fun. And when someone carries a 5 energy in their chart, it's extremely important for them to make sure in every day of their life they are finding something to do that's fun. So if for Irene, she had to spend the entire day just doing, let's say, a 9 to 5 job, and there was no fun stimulation going on, she would get extremely burnt out. And that would create that stress in her belly and a lot of stress in her neck because she is not aligned with fun. Does that make sense to you, Irene?
Yeah.
Yes. Excellent. So those are the 3 major planets that we speak of when we speak of astrology. I really like to go deeper into astrology with all the planets because they all play a huge role. But for the sake of time today, and just to get the audience to understand what a self-growth discovery session is, I'm going to just limit it to those 3 signs for today. Is that okay for you, Irene?
That's fine. Yeah.
Perfect. And if need be, you and I can schedule a different time to go a little deeper into the other planets so you can better understand you. Okay? So here we have 9 cards. And interesting enough, and I shuffle all my cards. I shuffle them, I do them around. But we have 9 cards, and out of your 9, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 out of your 9 cards in reverse. Now let me explain to Irene, although Irene knows this, let me explain to the audience. When cards show up in reverse, 2 things we have to pay attention to. A, we need to pay attention to the message that's going to show up. And B, that specific chakra needs your attention, needs some work, because there could be a little bit of sluggishness going on in that chakra that might prevent you from reaching your health, fitness, and wellness goals if that chakra stays blocked. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, interesting enough, out of your 9 cards, you have 3 of them in the root chakra. So right off the back, that's going to let me know we definitely want to work on the root chakra, because the root literally is the base. And when the root chakra is out of alignment, we're going to just use that word for now, out of alignment, it means that perhaps we're not feeling balanced, that there's something out of balance in our life. We're not feeling supported. And the support could just be that maybe we don't have that emotional support. We don't have a cheerleader cheering us on when we do really well. And that's important. You know, if you don't have somebody that when you accomplish something that you can go and pick up the phone and call that one person and say, hey, guess what? And that person cheers you on and congratulates you, that could be very demotivating, because it's like, okay, who do I call to share my good news with? And let's say you do call somebody to share your good news with, and that person is not as uplifting about your good news as you like them to be, that could be discouraging and throw you off course. Also, in reference to what we're focused on, where your focus is. If you are focused on something that's not working out, or you mentioned to me before we started here that you were doing some cleaning, and let's say you focus on the mess as opposed to how well you're doing what you're doing. You're cleaning, you're decluttering. Shifting that focus will help the root chakra come back into balance. And here's the big one: fear. If there's something you're afraid of, So if there's something you're afraid of, that could cause the root chakra to feel a little sluggish as well. And I'm feeling energetically that the word fear sort of tapped onto something. Yes or no?
Ish. A little bit, yeah.
A little bit. Yes. Like I said, Irene's going to be transparent today. And we did not rehearse this. So this is the first time that Irene has experienced this with me. And obviously the first time we're doing this with her as well. So when we think about that fear, what I'd like you to do is just take a minute, if you can, the first thing that comes to mind, connect it to fear, just write it down on paper.
Okay.
Now, what I had her just do now, by her writing it down on paper, she actually took it from here and put it out. She put it out, which is the first step to releasing it. And if she's okay with it at the end of the reading, if I do not tap into it through the cards, we might talk about that. Because that's what I do when I work with the clients regarding their line cards, is we go a little deeper into the conversation once I tap into all 9 cards, because there's a good probability that whatever that fear is about is going to show up here. So she doesn't really have to say anything unless it doesn't reveal itself by the time we finish. So the 3 cards in the root, and then the next chakra that has 2 of the 2 colors, the 2 of the same colors, is the sacral. Interesting. Sacral. Sacral is, as she laughs, sacral is right along the, right below the belly button. And that's where our creativity comes from. That's where the confidence is. That's that connection we have with our mother. Now, remember earlier when I had said that when I asked my clients about their relationships with mom and dad, and also when their cycle came in, that's sacral energy. And question I didn't ask her was, when you did get your cycle, and I have a feeling you and I spoke about this at one point or another, but don't quite remember. When you did get your cycle, if you can remember, was it a happy experience for you, or was it an experience where, like, oh my God, this is happening to me, and like, oh, where do you fit on that scale? Happy, or oh my God, this is what it is?
I don't think any. I was pretty neutral about it because I knew about it. I knew it was going to come sooner or later, and I figured this is a part of life.
Okay. So the way you're saying it,
logical. Like, I was ready for it. And I was like, it's here. Like, it's come.
Yeah.
Like that.
So it wasn't like, let's get the confetti out and like have a party. It was more like, okay, it's here. It's a part of what this journey is all about.
Yeah.
Okay. So you didn't have any, let's say, embarrassing moments where your mom had to go and call like all the neighbors and cousins and everybody else and say, hey, guess what?
Yeah, she did. She called like 2 friends, and I was like, Mom, stop. And then like my older brother was like teasing me, making fun of me, and it's just like, shut up.
Exactly.
But my mom like checked him on it, but he had to be the stereotypical, misogynistic big brother.
Exactly. Yes, but not realizing that because of that experience, and I'm sure when your brother doing what he did, he wasn't doing it to be malicious. He was just doing, like you said, what little brothers would do. But the reality of it all is, because of that may have brought on a stigma to your emotions associated with your cycle. For most girls, it could be one of those situations where, like, ugh, so now I have this, and then you either get the talk from mom prior to the cycle coming, or the talk from mom when the cycle comes, in reference to what you can now do and what you can't do, and how you need to do it this way, and all of that. Yes.
Yeah. Before and after.
Yeah. Yes. And some little girls unfortunately don't get that talk, that conversation before or after, for whatever the reasons are, where their mom gives them a book. And their mom tells them to read the book, because there is actually a book out there. Thank God there's a book. Somebody's decided that there needs to be a book about this whole process of the, as I like to call it, the moon cycle, because that's really what it is, the moon cycle. But anyway, so we think of that sacral energy where you have 2 of those cards, 2 of the chakras there. That's that sacral energy work in regards to that connection with mom, and your connection with your experience of becoming a woman, because theoretically when a girl gets their cycle, they become a woman. Now it's so weird to even say that out loud, because nowadays, I mean, girls get their cycles at like what, 7?
I don't agree with that statement at all.
Yeah, it's like, how does a girl become a woman?
Their body is going through puberty and transitioning into adulthood, but if they're not a woman,
Yes, yeah. And maybe it's an old belief that I grew up hearing about, where you get your cycle and now you're a woman, you're a young lady, there's certain things that are expected of you, and there's certain things that you should not do now because you have your cycle. It's like, A lot of emotional stuff that goes with that for some girls, and maybe not for you, and thank God if not, which is a good thing.
And it's a lot of societal pressures that in ignorance that's been placed on the menstrual cycle and on females, and it's ridiculous and antiquated and wrong. Because it's
Exactly.
the way you're going to tell like a 10-year-old that she's a woman, and but that's a whole other type of conversation.
Yes, yes. But it's interesting because reality, as Irene is saying, all of that goes, all of that whole story goes with the sacral energy.
Mhm.
These are the conversations that I would have with a client who may have experienced the opposite of what Irene's experience was.
Yeah.
And they might have experienced the emotional challenge with that. And that would be something that would create that blockage in regards to how they feel about themselves and how they feel about their body in regards to that. Because most women, when they do get their cycle, experiences cramping, bloating, hot flashes, all an addition of hormonal connections with it. And that itself is aligned too with how we feel about our bodies at that time. Now, I had read an article many years back that the average woman, and Irene, let me know if this is true for you or not, the average woman only likes what their body looks like 1 week out of an entire month, and it's not a full 7. It's actually 3 days out of an entire month that the woman loves her body. How does that resonate with you?
I've heard that statistic too. That doesn't resonate with me personally. No. I have good days and bad days. I have medium days, but I don't. And even growing up, I would say, just a lot of insecurities for no reason looking back now. But um, I mean, I think I've always taken pretty okay care of myself to
Mhm.
to understand what's happening in my body. Um, but not 3. That's too little for me.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Yeah.
But there are women out there that when they get their cycle, that they go through this psychological, emotional breakdown of what
Yeah.
they feel like in their body. And that too will be the thing that would cause the restrictions in reference to the health, fitness, and wellness goals. So again, when I am working with someone and that's something that shows up and resonates with that individual, that's something that again I work with them on. And again, these are things that due to Irene's brilliance that she has and all the work that she's done, she's had a chance to reflect back to some of her childhood traumas where she's healed from them and can better understand, where she is now and what was back then. But I bring these questions up because I want to demonstrate to who's watching. These are some of the things that I work with the clients in regards to what shows up for them. And being able to go deeper in to their healing process because again, the whole idea is to recognize that the self-growth discovery session, the cards, is replacing the general questionnaire that these questions wouldn't show up on. And we wouldn't get deep into that individual's mind and emotions to why they may not be able to accomplish their health, fitness, and wellness goals before they tap into these wounds. So, as I said, we have 2 cards associated with the sacral energy. And then we also have two. Okay. And then everything from there, we have 1 card of each. So what we have is 1 crown chakra, 1 throat, 1 solar plex, and 1 third eye. And interesting enough, there is no heart chakra here. We don't have any greens or pinks in your card, in your spread.
You said
Now,
1 crown, 1 throat, 1 solar plexus, and 1 what?
third eye.
Uh,
Yes. Now, some people would say to me, well, what does it mean when a chakra is not in the spread? Just means we don't have to work on it. That's all that means. We don't have to work on it because it's not there. But it may not be there in reference to the colors, but it might very well be there in reference to conversation. So what I like to do here is I want to point out of the 9 cards, if there are any numbers that's showing up as master numbers. Now, a master number carries a higher vibration than if we were to add that number up and brought it down to a single digit. And there are 3 general master numbers, and those master numbers are 11, 22, and 33. 11 is what we call the master healer of relationships. And in this case, it would be the relationship that Irene has with her body. Then 22, what's that?
Interesting.
22 is the master builder. And in this case, it's the master builder that she's building within the relationship of her body and everything that's the external effects as well. Because understanding that as we are taking care of our bodies and becoming more aligned with our body, that is a mirror effect of everything that goes on the outside. And I'm sure everyone has heard this philosophy. Before you can really start to heal relationships with others, you have to heal the relationship with yourself. And then once you heal the relationship with yourself, all the other relationships start to heal without you even working on it. The third master number is 33. And that is known as the master creator, master teacher, master sacrificer. So we sacrifice. It's all, and it really holds the energy of, let's say, Jesus, Buddha, or anyone in that higher realm. And with all that being said, Irene has an 11 and, drum roll here, 33 in her cards. 11 and 33. Out of 9 of her cards, she has 2 of the 3 master numbers in her card deck. And what that actually means is that her journey in this lifetime, and I also want to bring in her life path number that she is strolling through in this lifetime, happens to be a 3 energy. So she is here to be someone that creates, which is why she creates waist beads. And she's also someone that's communicating and teaching, which is why she's a spiritual educator and why she's been a teacher. So her path that she's been on is right on track.
I needed that message. Thank you.
My pleasure. That's why I'm here. That's why we do what we do. You know, if that's the only thing you walk away with, then I did my job. Okay? If that's the only thing you walk away with, which I'm sure you're going to be walking away with a whole lot more. So with her life path number as a 3, being the creator, being the teacher, also being the student. She's a student as well, because as we progress in our healing journey, we always welcome in mentors so we can learn more about ourselves. So she's a student as well. We're always the student, we're always the teacher. And she's also really highly attuned to listening. Not so much to people, I mean, that's important, but she's highly attuned to listening to her spirit guides, where she is welcoming them always in to share insight with her. Makes sense? I'm sure it does. Yeah. Okay. So those are the master numbers. And in a minute, I'm going to share what the actual affirmation is for each of the cards as well. But I just want to really take care of the most important stuff. Then I want to talk about power numbers. Now, a power number is any number that repeats itself, such as, 11 is a master number, but it's also classified as power number too because it repeats. Then we have, let's say, 44, 55, 66. Those are power numbers because they repeat. And why they're important, because anytime a number repeats itself, it's like the universe reminding us of that message and how important it is, because you're seeing that number constantly. And in this 9-card spread, she has just 2 of them. Okay, so very powerful. And the 2 of them that she has happens to be 55, which adds up to a 10. And right off the back, that tells me that when we think about that 10 energy in astrology, it's about her soul's purpose. That 5 energy, which is aligned with her her moon sign, is about change, change, change. And here's a big word: freedom, freedom. Her soul's purpose leads her into freedom, leads her into freedom. So if there's anything that Irene is fearful of or struggling with, this is the time for her to do the work so she can free herself of that, so she can begin to feel lighter in the soul's work that she does. The other card is 99. And I just want to show you that card. It's in reverse, as I've mentioned, one of the cards in reverse, but this one's about forgiveness. 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 And when I hear with forgiveness, this is not about her having to forgive somebody. And it could be. It could definitely be of that. But what I really get is, and my hand just literally tingled. What I really get is this is about her forgiving herself. Her forgiving herself. And as I said, we're going to be transparent here. And I should have told her to bring some tissues, but that's okay. You can use your sleeve. Where she needs to forgive herself is motherhood. Motherhood. Her feelings of how she shows up as a mom. And it's not about her so much about what she thinks of it. It's society. It's the people saying to her, well, don't you have small children? Shouldn't you be doing things with your small children? So it's that energy, the judgment that she feels that comes in from the society. So it's about really learning to forgive herself. And reality of it all is there's really nothing to forgive because she's not doing anything wrong. She's applying self-care into her practice when she does things for herself. So she can be a great mom, which she is. She is. She's one of my role models as a mom. She's got 2 little ones and all the things that she does. And she also has her own, she's an entrepreneur. So she no longer works for a company. She works for herself. So there's a whole lot of empowerment in her energy. So that forgiveness is really about forgiving yourself and giving yourself credit and recognizing all that you've achieved and what a great mom you really are and what a great role model you are for other moms. And putting that message out to other moms that they can do this too. There's no reason why they can't do something. And I also want to point out too that Irene is also a single mom. She does this by herself. So that's a lot. So that forgiveness, I want you to soak in forgiveness today. Yes? Yes? That 9, when we add it up, works out to be 18, which brings us back to 9 again. So it really is about letting go of the heaviness that might be connected to the things you need to forgive yourself, or to the things that you sort of judge yourself about, or you might compare yourself to, or you feel like you should be doing it better. No, and really, who grades better? Who's the one that grades it? Who determines if it's better? Who determines if it's worse? We do. So today is your day to give yourself grace and recognize that you are a damn good mom. And you do it really well. You wear it well too. And the role model that you are for your children, your daughter and your son, you know, you're teaching them to be really great individuals. And that's important, even at the age that they are. So I'm hoping that you take that and accept that and really allow yourself to move into that space of forgiveness for yourself. And anyone who's ever made you felt like they were judging you, forgive them too, because they don't know better. Yes?
Yep.
Okay. So now we got the master numbers out of the way. We got the power numbers out of the way. Now I got I mean, deeply in thought here, like, really? So what I want to do is I want to dive into one of the cards that's just really standing out. And I think is really important. And I think this is connected to her fear. And it's in reverse. Success. Success. Does that resonate with you, Irene? Success? A little bit of fear of success?
Yeah. I have all the notes. Like, look at the notes.
Oh, yeah, success. And it's really interesting because there are so many entrepreneurs out there that are afraid of success. They are afraid of success. It's like, well, if I were to reach the dollar amount that I would really love to reach so I can live in that abundance, how would people think of me? What would I be like? So what we do is we choose to sabotage ourselves and prevent ourselves from stepping into success. You know, in regards to when we we sit back and we set the intentions to want to get busy and want to get all the clients we need to get and have all the different events. But once we get there, and it must be true because this is when I start coughing. Once we get there, it becomes overwhelming. And then something happens, something psychological happens that then creates a physical discomfort to show up, to slow us down. And that's that back and forth that we have. Whereas if we were aligned with success, we'd be powerhouses. There would be no distractions showing up. We'd be welcoming it in. But the question that comes to mind with this card, and it might be something you might have to think about. When was your first experience, whether you heard somebody, witnessed somebody talk about success in regards to it being a challenging thing, or that you might have felt it yourself? Can you connect that to something?
I think it's more about a certain level of success is just unattainable for people with like a poverty background. So it's definitely a poverty mindset.
Yes. So with that, because you know that it's a poverty mindset, would that be something you would want to perhaps cut the cord on?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm working on that every day.
Yes.
In my daily habits and everything.
Yes, exactly. Because reality, yes, you know, we can sit back and fall into that trap of the poverty and how you grew up, and you know, in regards to however money was when you were younger, and holding on to all of that.
Mm.
But then also the solar plex, which is the stomach. We spoke about this before. In regards to trusting and knowing that you are here to live in abundance. However that abundance shows up for you, whether it's financial abundance, whether it's health abundance, whether it's just love abundance, and everything else under the category of abundance. But trusting that you deserve it. And it's in your birthright to be abundant. And the only thing that's stopping you from being abundant, as you said, and you're working on it, is your poverty mindset. Shifting that mindset, cutting the cord of it and letting it go. And recognizing that whatever the experience you had when you were younger, you've done a lot of work up until now that you don't need to continue to visualize that as your story. And start changing that story and seeing yourself in abundance. So what I'd like you to do for just a minute, I'd like you to close your eyes for a second, because this is where some of the healing work goes on. Close your eyes for just a second. And if you want to place your hands on your belly for your solar plex, feel free. And what I'd like you to do is just take a breath here. And as you exhale the breath, I'd like you to begin to imagine what it is like for you to free yourself of the poverty mindset and see yourself in abundance, whatever that looks like for you. And doesn't mean we're speaking about financial abundance, and it could be whatever abundance, and it could be all. And just imagine yourself in abundance, what that looks like, where you literally can see your hands out and the flow of money coming in, the flow of health coming in, the flow of relationships coming in, the flow of love coming in, and just see all of that coming in, and that you're holding it and surrounded by it. And in fact, as Irene is doing that, recognizing that yesterday we had a 4-4 portal activation, which activated abundance. So this is perfectly aligned with success. And just allow yourself, Irene, just to really feel that new energy. Where maybe even after today, you won't even need to work on the poverty mindset, because there won't be a need to do that anymore, because you've cleared it. And what I like you to do is I like you to visualize a check that's coming in. Whatever the dollar amount that check is. Once you can visualize it, I want you to write down that dollar and that dollar amount on your note in your notebook. And upon writing it, is writing it down as I am receiving the income of, and whatever that dollar amount is, you don't need to share it. Okay, excellent. How are you feeling?
Good.
Excellent. All right, the next card that shows up in our sacral energy, also in reverse, is completion. Completion. When we think about completion, it means that there's something that is coming to an end. When we think about that sacral energy, is obviously something connected to inner child experience, which is what we just spoke on just now, ironically enough. The inner child mindset of the poverty mindset, coming to a completion, coming to an end, letting go of that whole story and seeing yourself as something very different. And allowing yourself to be in that space. When we think of the number 9 in numerology, it's about letting go and decluttering. When we think about it in astrology, it's about allowing ourselves to travel and open up our spiritual wisdom, spiritual knowledge, and seeing that perhaps as a child, you had to experience the poverty in order to, as an adult, appreciate the abundance. And that's an important lesson, because sometimes we can have an abundance, but we don't appreciate because we've never been without. And the minute where we're out and we really do appreciate the abundance part of it. So that's that completion, recognizing that today, through the little bit of work that we just did, that poverty mindset is coming to an end. Okay. Next card that shows up in reverse is play, which is associated with the moon Leo energy, play. As I said before, the work that Irene does, and through her health, fitness, and wellness goals, play has to be a huge part of her journey. If she's not playing, she's going to become bored. Also in reference to Irene, for your throat chakra. Very important, and I think your children play a role here for this one, helps you to do this one, is to be more playful in your conversations. We don't have to be so serious. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
So that's that play card. That 7 energy is associated with her the month that she's born in. That July, that 7 is about going within. So systematically, because she's born in the 7th energy month, energetically for her, being quiet and being still and alone is very important for her as well. She needs alone time. So that's why even as a mom, it's important for her to have her alone time. So that self-care and alone time is important for your energy system. So anytime you're feeling guilty about the fact that you need alone time, remember it's something your energy needs. Your energy system needs alone time. Make sense?
Yep.
We've already spoken about the success, which was in reverse. And the next card that comes in is health, the 33. Now, in regards to the health with the 33, what I get from this one is this plays a huge role in regards to your career. Of course, it's associated with your health as well, where the health, fitness, and wellness comes in. But it's also associated with your career on how you are helping others through the waste beads that you create become healthier as well. So that's a really important process. And I think this one's going to hit home. As the 33, you being the sacrificer, literally, I mean, I've witnessed Irene on lives at nighttime, after she's put her babies to bed, and there it is 11 o'clock at night, and she's doing a live beating at 11 o'clock at night. So she's sacrificing sleep time so she can create these amazing weight beads for her clients. So that's definitely pure 33. What do you say about that? And I've witnessed it because there she is on Facebook Live or on I was gonna say Kit Kat. It's not Kit Kat. It's TikTok. Doing her videos, and I'm like, girl, it's 11 o'clock at night. You need to be in bed. You have little ones. You gotta get up early. But there she is.
On Instagram, and then I'm like sending it to TikTok and Facebook. Yeah.
Yes. So there she is, and sacrificing. And sometimes that can be a sacrifice on our health as well, because if we're trying to maintain what we need to maintain in our business and just in our health and fitness, sometimes our health gets sacrificed as well. So something to think about as well. But continue doing your thing. You don't want to stop doing that.
Yeah, I just have to be more balanced at it.
Yes, that's that root chakra energy.
Mm-hmm.
So next card that shows up, which I'm loving, intuition. How she uses her intuition, how she's connected with her intuition. But also there are days where she feels as though you feel as though your intuition's not on track, and that's because you're not rooted, you're not grounded, you're disoriented is what I'm hearing. Too much going on and you sort of lost track of getting grounded is what I'm hearing. And a number I want you to pay attention to remind you, to bring you back bring you back to getting grounded and back into centering yourself, is number 6, which is aligned with your Virgo energy. That 6 energy, when you see that number 6, it's reminding you, Irene, schedule time to ground, or Irene, stop what you're doing right now and ground. So this way here, you can become more focused, less brain fog, and more intuitive. And when we are more intuitive, we get more done because we're being guided by what we need to do, as opposed to the back and forth. Like, I know for me, when I'm distracted, I can literally walk back and forth, pacing, grabbing things, doing things, and it's like, what the hell am I doing? Like, pause a minute, recenter, and then focus. And that's exactly what this is reminding you to do. So you can step into your intuition to ground your energy and fully use your intuition all the time. So there's never a second guess on what you should or should not be doing. Make sense?
Yeah.
Next card that shows up, which is that 11 energy, the master teacher, which is in reverse though. So I see this one in reverse. This is about, I'm just receiving a download, so give me a second. This is about a master teacher that's coming in. Cards in reverse though, so either it's at a point where maybe you're questioning that master teacher, is what I'm hearing. Maybe there's a master teacher that's popping in and you're contemplating whether or not it's for you to work with or not, or you're the master teacher. You're the master teacher. And this is something that I'm hearing, it hasn't happened yet. Someone's going to ask you to mentor them. Hasn't happened yet. But why it's in reverse is because you're contemplating on whether or not you really want to do it. And as I say that, it's so funny because what shows up, and I know this because you've shared it with me, the work you were doing not too long ago as a doula, yeah, that was definitely not aligned with you, which is one of the reasons why you walked away from it. Okay. But with this card that's showing up, is there's someone that's going to come and request that you mentor them. So the third eye is all about how you visualize that. And if you feel it's something that you want to do in mentoring them. And it's okay to say no, is what I'm hearing. So that might not be the right person to mentor for whatever the reasons are. So not to feel guilty if you have to say no to them. Does that resonate?
Like business or spiritual or?
Spiritual.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. I get a sense that what I'm hearing is it's associated with waist beads, that this person wants you to teach them how to do waist beads. That's what I get a sense on. And I get a sense that it's not going to be worth your energy to do because they're really not there to create the spiritual process of it. They're just there to do it as, well, I want to create beads so I can make money. And that's not your soul's purpose. If you want to mentor somebody, you want to mentor them where they're going to be honorable and respectful about the work that they're doing based on the work that you taught them. Make sense?
Yeah.
So just be mindful of that if someone starts to show up and starts questioning and inquiring about, do you teach people how to do waist beads and become teachers? That's this card right here. You are a master teacher, but you want to make sure that you're aligning your energy to people that are going to be integrity to what you do, not just someone that's doing it because they see it, oh, waist beads are a thing now, so I want to make money from it. Because again, you sacrifice your time and energy to create your waist beads and to create them for a soul's purpose to help people, not just to make money. So be mindful of that one. And it is an 11, so it really is about how you're healing yourself, and you want to be the master teacher. You want to expand your energy and teach people how to do the things you're doing, but you also want to be mindful of that. You don't want to exert your energy to someone that's going to not value the work that you do.
Yeah.
And value their reasons to why they're looking to do. Loving the next card, freedom, in reverse though. But that makes sense. That makes sense to why it's in reverse, the freedom. Because it goes right along the line with the success card where the poverty mindset, once you clear that poverty mindset, and I do believe that some of what we did today is going to help that, you will start to see that you have more freedom to do what it is you want to do. And also it's associated with the number 5, which is that moon energy. And that 5 is showing up twice now because we had it in the beginning with the leader card, and now it's here. So freedom is definitely coming in. You just have to ground yourself again. That grounding, very important to ground. As you are more grounded on day to day, you will find you have more freedom to really do the things that you desire to do. That brings you to joy, and that allows you to have that balance. And we're going to flip this right back into the work that you do in regards to your waist beads, but also having that balance to fit you on your schedule so you can have that health, fitness, and wellness goals in mind. Freedom plays a huge role here. Make sense?
Yeah.
And that was the 9th card.
Awesome.
So,
I have a lot of notes.
yes. So how's all this resonating with you? Just take a minute and just pause for just a second. So you could take some of it in and just give me some insight to what you're feeling, how you're feeling about everything I just shared with you.
It makes sense. Makes sense even to the work I'm currently doing on myself, because I am a forever student.
Yes, as we all are.
And the fear that I wrote down earlier, matching the relationship that I have, and the work I have to do to cut that cord. I get it. It makes sense.
Now, when you say the fear and the relationship you have, is the specific relationship with someone or relationship with self?
Where that fear stemmed from my mother.
Oh, okay.
So it would make sense.
Okay. Yes.
Not in a bad way. I have a good relationship with my mom.
Mm-hmm.
But the things that we, the generational baggage we carry.
Yes. And 2, I want to make a note for those who are watching. When we speak about cutting cords in regards to our relationships with parents, doesn't always have to be that it has to be bad. Sometimes there's just different opinions regarding different things with our parents that may not match our belief system.
Or our current belief system, right? Like our belief system changes as we grow up. So what we were raised with, which we thought was correct, or just the way things were, is no longer aligns with us. So we just have to change that. And there's the internal struggle of that, because it's our parents. And if we had good parents, you know, and we have good relationships with them, it's almost like, I don't want to be disrespectful, but you know, I gotta change things up. But I've always been like that. I've always been the different one, do things differently, but respectfully for the most part.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, and that's a part of the journey, is recognizing that not just with parents, but if we have siblings as well. The reality of it all is, as we come into our spiritual journey, as we invest in this transformation, our beliefs are going to change as we change. So we may not necessarily be aligned with what the other people are thinking, their belief system, and it is really about what's going to serve you best, as opposed to let's just do this because this is what they believe in. Let's just keep the peace. And in reality, you're really not keeping the peace, because in your body, in your emotions, in your spirit, as she cracks her back. Talking about support right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That it doesn't support. So when we're trying to keep the peace and just doing it the way everyone else does it, it doesn't align with our body. And as I said earlier from the very get, physically speaking, when our emotions are not aligned for us, it shows up physically in our body. And in regards to for Irene, it shows up in stomach and throat. I mean, stomach and shoulders, rather, which is connected to throat. And so those are the two areas for Irene. Now, when she's stressed, she knows right off the back, okay, something's not aligned because my belly is bothering me, or my shoulders are just tight. Now, when you feel the stress in your shoulders, what area of your shoulders? Is that like literally like the back, or is it shoulder blades?
It's like here, the soft part here.
Yes.
Like that. Like that tension, you know, like that.
Yes, like the what's known as the trapezius muscle in regards to the exercise world. And yes, usually when that muscle gets tight, what we end up doing is we look like this. See this?
Yeah, that's me.
We look like this. We lose our neck because we have all that tension. And also, let's look at it this way as a metaphor. It's like we feel like the whole world is sitting on our shoulders. So we have to hold them like this so we can release. We can just shake it out.
And when things are really tough, I'm tensing and clenching my jaw. So it makes sense of the throat chakra.
Yes, yes.
I broke one of when I was going through a really hard time a couple of years ago. I broke one of the fillings in my teeth because I was clenching so bad.
Yeah. And I mean, we laugh at it, but reality of it all is because we're Irene is not speaking. She's not saying what she truly wants to say. She's not being authentic. She's not speaking her truth because she's either afraid of hurting, in this case, her mother's feelings, in regards to what her belief systems are and what Irene's belief systems are. But it then hurts Irene, because then her throat gets hurt, her jaw is like, oh my God, and her shoulders are in her ears. So yeah. So the emotional connection eventually shows up in the physical body, causing our bodies not to feel well. So I'm loving your transparency today. So do you have any questions regarding what we shared today?
No, it's pretty clear.
Yes. So now, usually when I work with clients and we do a self-growth discovery session, when we get to the 9th card and finish it all up, I then, of course, say to the client, this is what we have to work on. Now, Irene already knows that she has to work on her root chakra, her sacral, and her sacral chakra. Those are the two areas that are out of alignment. But more so,
a couple of days ago, I think we spoke about making waist beads. I said, I think I'm going to make a set of waist beads for myself with the lower 3 chakras, and look what came up.
Yes. The only one that's not so terrible, well, not that it's terrible, but doesn't need your full attention, is the solar plex. So root and sacral, definitely. Yeah. So we were already tuning into this card reading even before we knew we were tuning into the card reading. So yes, so this would be the work that Irene would need to do in regards to constantly, and it's not just work where she does for one day. This is a continuous. The root chakra and sacral are her two primary, and also throat chakra too, even though there's only one card there. But because there is an issue with communication, and because you do carry stress in the shoulders, focusing on the throat chakra. Even if you're not able to literally say it to the person you need to talk to, write it down on paper. And then when you have time alone where your children are not around, verbalize it out loud. This way here, it no longer stays here and you get to say it out. And once we can say it out, again, that's allowing ourselves to release it because we're no longer holding it here. We're no longer pushing it down. We no longer have to grind our teeth because we're not speaking our truth. So, my dear, you have a little work to do in regards to root, sacral, and a little throat chakra work, but that's all good. And now, if I were to create a fitness regimen for Irene, as I said before, the most important factor of this fitness regimen needs to involve movement for play. It cannot be boring. It cannot be to the point where she's doing the same thing every day. Now, clients like Irene drive me completely crazy. It took me a very long time to understand clients that would come in and have tantrums because they didn't want to do the routine I had scheduled because we might have done it the other day.
Yep, you will never catch me on a treadmill. Never.
Exactly.
I'm going nowhere real fast.
What's that?
I would never be on a treadmill because I feel like I'm going nowhere and I get bored. And
Exactly. So with everything that I just discovered about Irene, knowing this, playing into her astrology, playing into her numerology, and playing into her chakra system, creating a plan that's going to introduce versatility, fun, and making sure she's not on a treadmill. And nor would I put her on a treadmill because, I mean, Irene doesn't have a weight issue. So putting her on a treadmill would not be my main focus. You know, I'm sure she's out and about with her kids and doing a lot of moving around with them. I'm sure she's not sitting on a bench watching them play. She's probably out there right there with them. So
I average like 20,000 steps a day. So
wow.
I'm moving.
Yes. She is moving because she's moving with her kids. So it's really about creating a program that's going to have her enjoying what she likes to do and combining that with what she may not like to do, which might look like some weight training. You know, most people don't like weight training. You do?
I like weight training. Yeah. I think I put that in my goals is like to build more muscle and flexibility. So to include yoga. Yeah, I do. I actually prefer weight training than cardio. And if I do cardio, it has to be like a dance class or something. I gotta like be moving or hiking or something because I can't focus on one spot. It just
exactly. Treadmill. I truly believe every gym should get rid of treadmills, stair climbing, ellipticals, take all that space that they utilize, all that equipment, and get rid of it. And make that space open for free dance. You know, put just music on and let people just do what they feel like doing, whether they want to do 10 minutes of it, 20 minutes or whatever, but just free movement, creative work. And understanding too that during the creative work of it, and this is going to be the conclusion because we're just about hitting an hour and a half, the creative part of it, moving the body with, as I'm hearing rhythm dance, meaning with music, and just allowing you to move your body where you have fun. And that's where the fun comes in along with the weight training. And combining that program where you're fitting you into your schedule so you can incorporate your health, fitness, and wellness goals. But that is the biggest takeaway for me, is to make sure that Irene's plan is fun. Cannot be it cannot be where the rule of thumb is, you know, for a client to see results, they have to do the program for a period of time, like 3-4 weeks. In this particular case, it would get Irene to see results if I can only get her to be motivated enough to do that program, because it's like, oh my God, I got to do this again? Really? Today? I just did this the other day. So really bringing that flair in. And like I said before, clients like Irene who carry a 5 drive me crazy. But that's okay. I'm good. It keeps me on my toes. So yeah, so that's the plan. And ideally, it would be just about putting together a program for her that's going to match her energy, so she could be more successful. That word success. she can be more successful at her health, fitness, and wellness goals, and how these goals really tie into her 6-month goal in reference to her goal is to want to move. Her 1-year goal is a storefront. And all of that is really wrapped around success. When she starts to feel successful in her body in reference to movement, in reference to strength training, then all of the external goals of success fall into play. And then the third one, which threw me off course a little bit, which is a 5-year goal, which is about financial freedom. That part didn't throw me off course, but retirement. Girl, you're not retiring. You have
retire, like have that freedom to retire and do other things.
Yes. No, I get it. The freedom to retire, but yet being able to have the freedom to continue doing what you wish to do, but not to the point where it's overwhelming. Where like that you can sit there and create 3 or 4 waist beads in a day and just have fun with it, and knowing that if you don't want to create a waist bead for that day, you can go do something else that's fun.
Exactly.
Yes. So I love this. And what I will be doing, I will take a photograph of your 9 cards. So I'm going to send them to you so you have them, because there can be so much more that's going to come up for you. Now, usually, ideally for, well, I shouldn't say this, because for most of my clients, when I do their self-growth discovery session, I take a photograph, give them the photo so they can work on those cards, and using the affirmations, for example, forgiveness. How forgiveness is the affirmation, but how that works in alignment to your story, being the leader, and how that works to your story, the things you're completing, how play works in success, your health, intuition, you're the master teacher, and what we just said just a second ago, freedom. Those are your affirmations, and how you can use them and remind yourself of those particular words each and every day, and how important they are and why they're important. And when you tap into that energy, this is where you get to expand and really discover yourself on even a deeper level. And once again, guys, this is why a self-growth discovery session is authentic and also important, because these are things we're not going to learn in the general health and fitness questionnaire, where we get to go this deep, where we get to really discover who Irene was or who you are from a basic general fitness questionnaire. So, and it's a lot of fun and it's very colorful.
I have a quick question. So would you, if you're saying I have to work on my root sacral chakra, would you plan workouts that benefit those chakras?
Yes.
Or whichever other chakra was in, like, let's say if I needed to work on my heart chakra, would you create a plan of action for those, whatever chakra?
Yes, and I'm glad you said that, because sometimes I do forget to mention things. Yes. When creating the health and fitness program, the program is designed based on the chakras you do need to work on. So for example, in reference to tapping into the root chakra, and this one everyone does every day, is tapping into doing squats, sitting and standing. That's the root chakra, literally sitting and standing. And creating that routine, that program that's going to activate those particular chakras for the client. Also, in reference to creating that program that's also going to activate the astrology as well, your astrology, specifically the Cancer, the Cancer energy, that you have 4 planets in Cancer, your Virgo energy, and the houses that it's associated with. So all that comes into account when creating this program. And the versatility that if a client is working out, let's say 2 days a week, 3 days a week, in regards to the days a week they are working on. Now, for example, which I think, if I'm not mistaken, on your natal chart, you said it was you were born on Wednesday?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Also making sure that Wednesday is one of the days you definitely do a workout, because that is your high energy day, because that's the day you're on. So Wednesday is a real powerful day for you to make sure a workout gets done as well. So I bring all that into consideration as well. And we take it one step further. The time you're born is extremely important. Like there's a lot of like myths regarding like when's the perfect time to work out. I know, like, that's always a conversation. In my opinion, the perfect time to work out is a time that fits your schedule, for one. And B, the time that you're born, you're probably going to have the most energy because that's actually the time you came into the earth. So looking at your time, do you remember what time you were born?
8:42 in the morning.
Yeah, so 8:42 a.m. you need to be working out. Yes. Managing that time, because of course at 8:42 in the morning you're probably in the midst of running the kids to school or just getting them back home. But that would be your power time to do a workout because that's the most energetic time for you. Make sense?
Yep, makes sense.
So when we bring all these together, the astrology, the numerology, and just bringing it all in together in reference to the chakras as well, which chakras go with the workout, then you get a fine-tuned plan that's specifically for you and no one else. And that also aligns your energy because you're actually doing things indirectly to align your chakras without having to actually take the time out to align your chakras. So many people don't align their chakras because they think they have to have a specific time and place to do. But if you're doing a workout and you're focused on and being embodied in your workout, so it's not just about doing squats and just doing squats. It's about doing the squat and focusing on the root chakra, literally taking that energy and visualize it every time. And this is what I say to my clients, every time you like go to sit into the squat, just think about that root energy, that red, bright energy, and that balance that's going to take you to come down. And then as you come out of the squat, that root energy expands and you come up. And you're just visualizing that energy. That's your focus. So it's not about you're going to be focusing on your laundry list or oh my God, I have to go read a book in an hour. You're going to be strictly motivated and focused on what you're actually doing. You're embodying your mind, body, and spirit. And most importantly, as we said earlier, is setting that intention for why you're doing the workout for that day. And the intention may very well be different every time you do a workout. It doesn't have to be the same intention. And being very specific in reference to this is my reason for doing this today. And asking yourself before you start your workout, how do I feel right now?
Mm-hmm.
And then becoming mindful that by the time you're midway through the workout, how am I feeling now? And at the end of the workout, how am I feeling now? And when you become mindful of how you are feeling, how are you physically feeling? How is your body feeling? And even when we're not feeling like we want to work out, we wake up not feeling well, our body is tired, our body is stiff, more the reasons to work out. I have what I call a no excuse policy plan. No excuses work for me. If you're going to call me up and say, well, I can't work out today because I got my cycle. I can't work out today because I got this. I can't work. No. Excuse be gone. Mm-hmm. Because we always want to work out. We always want to make sure we get it in. It's like I said to my husband yesterday, I had such a busy day and it was already close to 6:00 and I didn't get my workout in yet. And I said to him, I said, I need to get this workout in now because I have a 7:00 client, I have an 8:00 client, and then I have a 9:00 class. I am not working out at 10:00 at night, so that workout needs to get done right now because I'm not skipping my workout. So there I went, and I told him, I said, if you want to chat with me, you can. He was on the phone. So I put the phone to the side and he chatted, and in between my sets, and I would say to him, if I'm not responding, that's because I can't talk to you in a minute, but I will talk in my rest period. And that's what happens. But it has to be done, and when you know your why, you're definitely going to be motivated enough to do it because you know your why. Any other questions, my dear?
No, that was very, very thorough. And you said we have an hour and a half, so we're over time.
Yes. We're just about 3 minutes over our time.
Yeah, but no, this is really thorough. I have all the notes, and I'm going to be rereading this.
Excellent. And if anything comes up, as it might, because once you actually get to see the cards yourself and you sit with them and you start connecting the affirmations, you start connecting it to different things. Like let's say that forgiveness card, because that one keeps popping out at me. You connect with that and really go into it and go deeper into it. That may connect you to that freedom card. So it will all tell a story as it does. I truly believe it does.
Yeah, it does.
All the words together. What's that?
I'm seeing the story already.
Yep. As it does.
Yeah.
All right. So for our viewers, for anyone who's interested in discovering who you are on a much more soul level and redeveloping your health, fitness, and wellness plan and really embodying your body, and would love to learn more about your self-discovery session, you can email healingwithin76@gmail.com. Now, those of you who are interested in getting a waist bead and having that waist bead help you not only become a tracker to how you're trimming down, but also go so much more deeper into it, I mean, let them know how they can reach you.
Yeah, they can go to my website, which is 100essentialwomen.com, which is also the same as my Instagram, 100 Essential Women. They can reach out that way. My email strolling through, which is 100essentialwomen@gmail.com. But Instagram and my website are pretty quick to reach out to me then that way. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Irene, for being transparent today and
Thank
allowing
you for doing this with me today.
allowing me to demonstrate this for the very first time ever live. I mean, I've done this, of course, privately, but never live. So thank you for this. I appreciate it.
Congratulations to you for doing something new.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. This has been quite of an interesting week. I'll share that with you on Friday.
Yeah,
all right, guys. So we're going to have one up here. And again, if you need to reach us, you know our email address. Thank you so much for being here. And those watching on the replay, please go ahead and let us know how this resonates with you as well.
Yes.
Have a great one.
Thank you.
Thank you.